The three worst mistakes to make in high school. My name is Mr. Hammonds. I'm a high school counselor. I've been working with high school students for over 15 years, and I know these three mistakes is what causes more anxiety, more terrible grades, more problems in high school than anything I've ever seen. And the last one is the worst of all. The first terrible mistake that I see high school kids make in high school is not saying one word. It comes down to one word. If they can learn to say this word more often and allow it to lead to other words, life will be so much better in high school. Success will be so much better. The word is hi. There are other things to learn in high school besides English, math, science, and social studies. And one of those avenues for high school students to gain more experience is social interactions. And I'm not just talking about social interaction with the students in their second period. I'm talking about social interactions with the adults around them, learning how to just say hi. How are you doing today? Hi, I need this form. Hi, what was that announcement that I heard on the intercom? Mr. Hammond said, hi, what is your name? You know, working in the classroom, being able to say hi to a person in your group. It is 4 years of growth that can help in the real world setting when it comes to working and in the real world setting when it comes to college. Relationship building is fundamental. And here's a tip and advantage about high school. Majority of adults in high schools are willing to be on that practice end of high school students just learning how to say hi and learning how to be social. That's the way we're wired. We're wired to help. So the worst thing to do in high school, one of the worst things to do is not be able to say hi. The second common problem I see in high school so much that is a terrible mistake to let happen is to go through high school and not learn how to create an organizational system that leads to success. And this organizational system is all aspects of life. When it comes to first, second, third, fourth period, when it comes to practice for soccer or volleyball after school, when it comes to going to see Aunt Susie this weekend, when it comes to working my job schedule at Chick-fil-A. It is the most stressful way to live life when you just try to have that stuff in your memory and you hope that you remember it. It's stressful because you're hoping to remember it. It's stressful when you remember it at the last second. It's stressful when you forget it. So part of the 4 years of high school is to learn how to get yourself organized. One of the differences I notice in some of the really good students and the great students, the students who earn these scholarships, the students who get accepted in prestigious schools, when I'm talking with these students in my office and we are discussing important things, they're always taking something out to either write, they're always asking for a sticky note, they're always pulling their phone out and say, Mr. Hammonds, can I use my notes app to put some things down? Yes, I see this all the time with the most successful students learning how to be organized. Life is too crazy. There's too much going on. You can't keep it all just up here. So figure out a way. Here are some ways that maybe you can get yourself organized. And parents, you can help students try to get organized. Obviously, we have that phone in our pocket. Do you want more of the phone? If you do, then use that calendar app. Use the notes app. Use reminders to let you know what's going on. The second way you can do it is get away from the phone and get you a notebook. Get you a journal. If you Google search ways to keep up productivity, if you Google search ways to keep up with information, then you'll find all kind of tips and tactics to be able to set up a journal, set up a notebook to keep up with what's going on with you. Another way that you could do it is maybe for each one of your notebooks you have for each class, at the very beginning, you write down what's next, you write down what's going off, you check off what's going on. You have to figure out your way. You have to figure out your way of getting organized. And there is not a right way. There's no right way that's the best way. But the only mistake that you can make in high school is having no way of being organized and using the time from ninth grade through 12th grade to figure out different ways to be organized and which is the best way for you to be organized. And the third mistake that students make in high school, this mistake is one of the worst mistakes students can make. It is just detrimental in so many levels. So many students that I notice come to my office that are having a very difficult time. I often find if there are multiple layers of difficult situations going on in their lives, this one is almost always there. It's being behind, it's going through high school with your responsibilities, your work, your homework, your projects, your practices, forms and documents, things you have to do, and just being behind. The catch-up game is the worst game to play in high school. It adds anxiety. It adds stress. Trying to catch up is a hard life in high school. When you're in high school and you're trying to catch up, you also have to focus on what is behind that you're catching up on, while at the same time, you're supposed to focus on what is today and what needs to be done in the present. And you're thinking about the future also needs to occur. You understand that spectrum? Trying to manage all of that at one time. What am I having to catch up with? What am I having to do today? I need to think about tomorrow. That's too much. Having to have in the pot of what to do things that you need to catch up with, along with what you need to do now, allows both of them not to have the true attention that they truly deserve. You're trying to catch up, so you're putting a little bit of attention there. You're trying not to get further behind, so you're putting some attention on what you're doing now. So neither one of those two get the true attention they need. Secondarily, catch-up mode causes problems with your family. It causes problems with mom and dad because they're having to also notice that your grades are lagging, and you hear the common result, she's got to put grades in. She's behind on her grades. I'm catching up on that. So your mom and dad's waiting for the grades to update, causes an issue. Also, teachers are not the most happiest in the world to have to deal with the fact that now they're having to go back and put grades in for you. They're having to go back and get caught up themselves. Remember, teachers have a life. Teachers like to be ahead of the curve. And when it comes to you now having to go back to get caught up, and then for them to have to go back and put grades in, that adds more stress to their life. They're not happy about that. Overall, being behind just means a tougher time in high school, man. Trying to catch up all the time while staying ahead. I know students who go through that 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade year. I feel like when they're talking to me, they're always behind. They're always catching up. It is just a miserable life to have in high school. The solution to staying ahead, number one, start early. Go ahead and start early. As soon as you get that syllabus, as soon as the semester starts, you go ahead and look down the road and never get behind. Start early and stay ahead of the wave. If you get behind, make sure you put extra effort into catching up as fast as you can. And this process takes to stay ahead and to get caught up, it takes sacrifice. Sacrifice on the weekends. Sacrifice late at nights. Sacrifice soon as you get home from school with other things that you want to do, to take a nap, for you to get in touch with your friends, for you to play on your video game. Soon as you get home from school, you start then. Go ahead and get caught up as fast as you can. Stay ahead of the wave. I have this conversation with my students often in my office, and I see them struggling. I see them under stress. So think about these 3 mistakes not to make in high school. And when your semester gets started, whether you're in the middle of the semester, whether you're close to the end, keep these in your mind. High school doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be stressful. And putting things in place for success will benefit. I wish you the best.